so this is YouTube video number 2, and this is a response to Jefferson Bethke's video, Why I Hate Religion But Love Jesus. And I want to apologize in advance. This is a little bit longer than the last one, but this has been a very touchy subject since the video was posted, and I wanted to make sure that I got my ideas out exactly as I thought them. And Jefferson, I really enjoyed your video for a lot of reasons, but there were some things that were off about it. And I wanted to start by telling you a parable that I learned when I was learning about religion in school. And it's called the parable of the elephant handlers. And there's this king, and he brings back an elephant from a military campaign. And nobody in his kingdom has ever seen an elephant before. And so he keeps the elephant secret, he puts it in a room, and he brings his top 5 scholars to come look at the elephant. And before he lets them in the room, he blindfolds each one of them. And they all go in, and he asks them, all right, what is an elephant? And the first man goes up and he touches the elephant's leg. And he says, well, an elephant is like a tree. It's like a tree trunk. And the next man goes up and he touches the elephant's tusk. And he says, no, an elephant is like a spear. And the next man goes up and he touches the elephant's trunk. And he says, no, an elephant is like a snake. And the next man goes up and he touches the elephant's ear and he says, no, you're all wrong. An elephant is like a leaf. And the last man goes up and he touches the elephant's stomach and he says, no, an elephant is like a big boulder. And they get into an argument about this, and they start arguing about who's right, and eventually they start fighting. And the king intervenes and he breaks them up and he takes their blindfolds off. And they all stare in amazement at the elephant. And so firm was the evidence in their mind, so clear were they in their convictions, that they were willing to fight and die for their own blindfolded interpretations of the same subject. Moreover, they realized that they were all right. Parts of the elephant were indeed as each of them had described. But they realized that one man being right did not automatically make the others wrong, and that without seeing the big picture, they were unable to comprehend the value that each man's understanding of the elephant had brought to the king. Now you are so firm in your own beliefs that you are willing to condemn religion as a whole for, in your view, putting actions ahead of faith and making rules more important than a personal saving relationship with Christ. But is that wrong? We know that faith can often lead people to do better actions. But can't right actions also lead to a better understanding of faith? Cannot our own life decisions, made within a religious framework of laws and behaviors, deepen and enrich our understanding of God? You describe your faith in Jesus as God-seeking man, while religion's code of law is man's attempt at seeking God. But just because man's method of seeking God is inconvenient for the lifestyle you want to live doesn't mean that it lacks value. Faith and action are both legitimate paths to God because they are both blindfolded descriptions of the same thing. God may be the single most unknowable aspect of human existence. We, like the elephant handlers, have a limited empirical understanding of the divine. That's the point of faith. It's our best guess based on the evidence that we have at hand. But just as limited evidence did not grant the elephant handlers an authoritative description of the elephant, so does simply having faith not grant you the authority to stand in judgment of religion and the behaviors it prescribes. That would be, in your own words, self-righteous. Religion is a phenomenon of human existence, just like articulate speech, the opposable thumb, or critical thinking. You can't judge these things as good or bad, they simply are. And saying that you hate religion but love Jesus is like saying that you hate plays but love Shakespeare. You cannot fully understand one without the other. Now I'm glad that Jesus helped you with your porn addiction, but it is short-sighted to hate the very institution which gave birth to the belief system you now hold. You owe your salvation to the men and women whose passion for God drove them to establish Christianity despite Roman oppression, whose love for that religion prompted them to preserve the Gospels, and whose concern for their own community inspired them to translate those scriptures into languages that we can understand today. If it was not for religion, you wouldn't have an English Bible to read, and you would not be a Christian today. I appreciate your video because it has opened a dialogue about religion and the nature of faith, and I believe that that is critically important in today's world. But I would challenge you to consider this. Is it possible for you to be right without religion being wrong? Is it possible for religion to be right without you being wrong? Take the blindfold off, see the big picture, and you'll find out that no matter what path we take, we're all thirsting for the same thing. Thanks.